Get ready to leap into action with the 2022 Water Tiger with the 12 animal signs of the zodiac. The first success tip that I'd like to share with you is to know yourself. Learn strategies to play your best strengths and be aware of the obstacles of the year. For you newbies, hi, welcome to my channel. And for you seasoned students and followers, welcome back. Hi, my name is Kathleen Horvath-Zemansky. I'm a business feng shui master, astrologer, and the creator of the Time Blazer business management system. So when you're watching this series, there's something that I really want you to take note of. You are much more than the year of whatever you were born in, that you also have information that is critical to knowing more about how you operate with the month of birth, the day of birth, and the hour of birth if you know it. This is a reason why we find out these things at the beginning of the year, to play your strengths and just be aware of the weaknesses of 2022. I also encourage and advise for you to watch all of the animals in the series because they're going to be relating to the months of the year as well as other tips that I'm going to be giving along the way. So the first thing you need to do is go to www.freebusinessastrology.com to calculate not only your birth chart, but your birthright, to unlock the keys to your true potential and to leap into action to this fast-paced Water Tiger year. Who has a snake in your chart? Go ahead and put that below and let me know if it's year, month, day, or hour. So the snake has 1 star this year in 2022, and that's my ranking. And I will let you know about this little infographic right here. This is a very important piece that I want all of you to understand, that you are much more than just one sign. So where's it located will give you the idea of how it's going to be affecting you or not with a snake in your chart. But even if you don't have a snake in your chart, still obviously stay tuned because there's a lot of information that is going to, be helping you along the way. So if your snake is located in the year, it is about your networking efforts. So who are you networking with? Really network up. It's also about your market expansion and your marketing efforts. So like your social media, Instagram, those kinds of things, or in all of the new platforms that are coming. So if you've got a snake in your chart, that means you've got a lot of fire and you're already resonating with the technologies and this upcoming period 9, which is all about fire. So since you are a fire animal, you're going to do quite well in already, because the period shift is really on the cusp and we're starting to feel it. But the month, if the snake is located there, it's going to be about your career. It's about what you're best suited at doing, as well as your character. The day of birth is about you, your personal growth, your partnerships. The hour is about your goals and legacy and investments. So I realize you may not know that hour of birth, but just follow along as we go through these animals. Okay, like I said, you have one animal that is one energy, but it is a good one. And it might, if you are evolved enough to really put this moon to use, then you might be able to counteract all of these, if not other obstacles in your life. So let's talk about the moon first. The moon is a very yin energy. So don't take yin as weakness, because that would be totally misunderstanding the concept of yin and yang. There is a balance between both. And so, when you're looking at the yin side of things, it is more the things that are concealed. The more that, there is, things that are percolating from behind the scenes. So this is really where your kernels of innovation are going to reside from. So if you have a snake in your chart, oh my gosh, is this ever an opportunity for you to jump in on especially that universal gateway side of of what we talk about here at Five Elements, because this is where, we are using our body as that antenna to tap into our universal intelligence. That's the moon. We really want to cultivate that starting now. So where this can help you is really to come up with your USP, your unique selling position. But like if you do have that big idea, you're going to want to keep it a little bit closer to your chest. Choose a right day and time, obviously, to launch the big idea, but you may want to only have the inner crowd until you're actually ready. Maybe work out some of the kinks and things like that. The moon energy is certainly good for research and study. So, for example, if you are going back to hone a skill after this long, I'm not even going to call it, well, let's call it, it was a break. It was a break in our life. So now as we try to get back on track here, this is where I would say, use this energy, and it's going to have an excellent feng shui spatial indication. So we're going to want to talk about that during that section. But just know that when you see your animals show up and connect with the feng shui of the year, wow, that is already an extra boost to let you know you've got some work to do. And if you don't, the energies are going to pass you by and you're going to miss out on the opportunities, which would be totally a shame. Okay, so it's very good for that. And, if you have children, this could be a good area that you could put kids in as well if they're struggling, with this on remote and on, this back and forth of opening and closing schools. And I'm really just looking mostly at the US market, and we get sprinkles of world news here and there. It's happening all over the world that, we are in yet again another lockdown, and we will be for quite some time before it kind of evens out. But until we are, use this moon energy to help you. It is the mastermind of making money behind the scenes. You could look at it as a side gig, if you will, passive income, whatever you want to call it. We sometimes need to piece together certain things to make our life easier, right? So there you go on that. All right, so let's look at some of these unfavorable energies. And I think if you can understand that when we play all of our strengths, some of these challenges will not even surface, if you will, because you are a highly evolved person and you are doing the work. What does the work mean? You work on your communication skills, you work on your mindset. That's a huge one. Be mindful, be caring, be kind, those kinds of things. And some of these will not, but I'm not asking you to be a doormat. I want you to stand in your power and your strength. But with that said, you can make some choices by some of the information I'm going to give you right now. Okay? So first of all, you have deceit. So you're going to be vulnerable to some sort of theft. And it might be closer to home than you would like to think. So it could be an employee, a friend, so watch your accounts and your sensitive information. And again, this is a yearly thing, but you do want to, you want to keep your eye on the ball, because something that could have happened today that you weren't paying attention could surface a few years from now. But this was the kernel seed that got planted. So do watch your sensitive information. Now, isolation is you're going to feel a little bit, a little bit blue, a little bit lonely. So you're going to get moody. Again, work with the mindset. Don't be afraid to be with yourself. Get to know your inner self really, really, really well. And that's how you can check that box and turn it into a positive. Overwhelm, okay, there's going to be, it seems like these external forces like the world affairs and economic turmoil and all of that, it's just going to overwhelm you. I remember, just as an aside story here, I remember when 9/11 happened in our country, when the World Trade Centers were a terrorist act, that just an unforgivable act of what happened that day. And I remember I was glued glued to the television to watch every update that was happening. And I remember that there was a interview with a Stanford professor, and the journalist said, "What should parents do for children?" Because everything is shut down. Everything is shut down. It's just 24 hours news. All regular programming is off. And so, the professor said, turn the television off. Well, the journalist didn't like that because, they wanted to build on the drama, right? And they kept prodding, well, what? Yes, but what else can they do? And he kept saying, turn the television off. You don't need to see these images over and over and over like millions of times. So this is what I'm talking about: information overload. You need to stay informed, but you don't have to be glued to see, especially a traumatic experience happening over and over and over again. So limit your news feeds, limit the time, and then take that time that you would have wasted on a story you already know the outcome to, and spend it with your friends, your family, and build community. That's a better way to override that overwhelm, and you're more in balance. And then there definitely is some solitude, but solitude is a little bit different from the isolation in the respect, like, you kind of want that. So when you are at one and at peace with yourself, solitude is wonderful. It's bliss. But that's where real work can get done. So if you have a snake and you've got the moon helping you this year to really get into that inner core of yourself, you'll be happy you did. Now, you might have a little bit of forgetfulness this year. So, find ways to, again, here's an aside. I just heard a little tip the other day versus trying to remember, oh, I've got to do this, that, and the other. Let's say I need to run to the bank. I need to, even though you can do everything online, I'm just doing an example. I got to run to the bank. I need to grab a bottle of fresh mineral water out of the fridge or right next to the fridge, and I need to take a document that needs to go to the bank. So instead of keeping that into your memory, then use something like, I need to stop by my desk to pick up the paperwork that I need for the bank, and I also need to download this and send it to the person. Then I need to go to the refrigerator. So I go to the computer, I go to my desk, I go to the refrigerator, and that can kind of help you link. There's many, many, many different ways in which you can do that. Find what works for you to help with your forgetfulness. So you don't lose your keys, you don't lose your glasses. I mean, I've been known to go, where's my glasses? Well, they're right on top of my head. So be a little bit more mindful of that kind of stuff, and then you won't be so forgetful. Now, you do have to watch about fraud. We already talked about that there is some deceit, and we have fraud along with it. Back up your devices, change your, run that malware, antivirus stuff on your computers, change your passwords often. So, these technical and fraud, these are major, major, major setbacks. Don't be caught in that quagmire when just set up as a calendar reminder notification that once a quarter or once a month, whatever your level of security is, and if you haven't done it in a while, that should be number one on your list, is change those passwords and run an antivirus on your computers and devices so that you don't get hacked. So there are ways. This is to be forewarned, not to be fearful. All right. So I'm giving you a plan instead of, oh my gosh, I don't really have all this stuff to do. You have actually a lot that you can do so that the negatives don't surface because you've already taken care of them. Okay, so the monkey is the best friend of the snake, but you know what? This year it is kind of a misnomer because it's a tiger year. So I didn't actually create a slide for this because I'm just going to tell you this, but when you have a snake, a monkey, and a tiger, this is where we have what's called a full ungrateful punishment. And this is not nice. No matter what you do, it's wrong. Literally, no matter how nice you are, how helpful you try to be, somebody always is going to be picking at you. So try to avoid as much drama. If you know the triggers of certain people that are going to trigger you, do your best to avoid them or find a way to communicate with them better. And don't be so giving, because these are people who are literally gonna try to, not be nice to you. So if you know that's the case, then just avoid those people. But in other years, they might be best friends, but this year I presume it's gonna be a little bit more challenging instead of the combination. Okay, the three harmony would be the ox and the rooster and the snake together. When you add all three of those, and remember you need to have one of these animals, and then from there you can find either these other animals within your networks that you know these people that have an ox or a rooster. Run their charts through my software for free, as well as you can find it in dates and times with the time blazer, and I'll show you the month of May in just a moment. But first, do you want more metal? And if you do, you go over here, look for the gray bar on your chart and look to see if it's creation, wealth, power, resource, or networks. All right, the clash is the pig. So when these two animals get together, they don't get along well at all. So you want to avoid, and this is sort of a fire-water, not a sort of, it is a fire-water clash. So you can kind of see why those clash out. And this is where you have the opportunity to look to see where the animal's located, whether or not you can help guide the clash, because certain times we absolutely want to clash out things that, so for example, changing your passwords, we talked about, do it on a good remove day with the time blazer, or actually you could even use a success day, stable day, to reactivate those new passwords so they're much more stable for you. All right, and here's the time blazer. So on May the 5th is Cinco de Mayo is when we get the new energies coming in for the snake. And again, we're starting to see the energies build. And what we want to do is we want to absolutely use the green days. This is just the standard version, not the personalized, obviously. But I just wanted to demonstrate that you can find these three harmonies, for example, by looking into the day view or looking into the month view to start building that three harmony if you need it. And if you don't, just use the green days to launch your important projects, meet with important clients, etc. Are you ready to take the next step in crafting your destiny? Then you're going to want to download our 2022 Feng Shui Toolkit, where you can find our annual Feng Shui and Flying Star Compass styles to superimpose over your accurate floor plan. Feng Shui is the methodology to help you achieve your goals, and the annual Water Tiger energies are going to help you achieve them faster. Now that you know what to do astrologically, it's time to get assistance from Feng Shui to get yourself pointed in the right direction to leap into action. And we'd love to provide those tools for you for free. Just click on the link below for our 2022 Feng Shui Toolkit. Remember to listen to the rest of the animals in the series by clicking also the link 2022 Water Tiger, the 12 Power Animals. And while you're at it, please hit that subscribe button and smash that bell so you don't miss any of our Feng Shui astrology tips and more. We'd certainly appreciate it if you liked what you heard. Hit the like button. And if you really liked what you heard, go ahead and leave a comment and share with other like-minded people. We would be so honored for your following. And may this year of the Water Tiger be filled with good health, peace, and life-fulfilling goals come true.